Wedijveren. Geen wet die ik mij wil toe-eigenen. Tijd verdrijven en wegdrijven naar kalmere wateren. Wat gebeurt er als twee draaikolken elkaar proberen vangen? Ik wil geloven in eenmaking, maar wie zet de eerste stap? Wie opent zijn armen eerst? Wie wordt eerst omhelst? Onbekend territorium en de kans op verraad. Zijn we ooit volledig veilig in armen die niet de onze zijn? Opgeslokt worden door alles wat geen wetmatigheden bedrijft. Alles wat drijft en zweeft, alles wat beweegt, alles wat mij beweegt. Ontsnapping moet niet altijd gepaard gaan met misgeïnformeerde illusies, drummende repercussies en verloochening. Mijn hoop naar resolutie is die van een kind. Een kind die hoop bemint. Een kind dat nog kan spelen en één worden met de woeste wind bovenop dat rotsenkasteel. Bang zijn van hoge rotsen is bang zijn van jezelf. Een rots zal je nooit pijn doen zonder dat je erom vraagt. In het water zie ik een klein meisje met krullend haar dat lijkt op het mijne. Enkel minder dof en artificieel. Blauwe ogen, net als de mijne. Enkel minder dof en artificieel. Haar beeld op mijn retina wordt steeds kleiner en kleiner. Ik word banger en banger, totdat ze verdwijnt. En inderdaad, het is niet de hoogte of de scherpte van de bodem die mij angstig maakt. Het zijn mijn ogen die afdwalen en weglopen, totdat ik niets meer onder mijn voeten voel, enkel lucht. Bang zijn van hoge rotsen is bang zijn van jezelf. Mijn hoop naar resolutie is die van een kind. Maar dat kind krijgt bewustwording en verliest hoop naar eenwording. De uitmonding van rotsen naar een kabbelende rivier wordt steeds kleiner en kleiner op mijn retina.
Goedenavond en welkom bij een nieuwe aflevering van Student at Night. Mijn naam is nog steeds Elian Pergola en ik gids jullie vanavond opnieuw door een leuke aflevering. En once in a while I'll be switching to English, want deze podcast die gaat namelijk over de Amerikaanse presidentsverkiezingen. Maar eerst, elke aflevering duiken we dus opnieuw in een aflevering bij Student at Night in een onderwerp dat jullie aangaat, dat jongeren aangaat, dat studenten aangaat. Want jongens, en dat is niet altijd even gemakkelijk en daarom proberen we van deze podcast een warme thuishaven te creëren voor jullie. En als je nu student bent, als je nu jong bent of als je gewoon even niet weet waar het leven naartoe gaat, dan kan je altijd bij ons terecht bij Student Night. En omdat we ons graag laten inspireren door alles wat Limburg ons te bieden heeft, gaan we ook op zoek naar hele mooie locaties, unieke locaties. En daarom zijn we deze week te gast in het Genever Museum. And with one of my guests, I have this little thing going on because we have a little Genever here. And I suggest that we'll open this podcast with drinking one. Leandro, cheers. School, as we say. There we go. Yeah. And that's how we dive straight into it. Okay, first of all, Hendrik, ik ga misschien bij u beginnen. We doen het in het Nederlands dan even. If something is like unclear, just shoot and we'll translate. Hendrik, jij bent een aantal jaar geleden naar Amerika gegaan.
Ja.
Vertel eens, wat heb je daar gedaan?
Ik ben met AFS in 2016, 2017 een jaar op uitzending geweest naar Pennsylvania. Heb ik mijn zesde middelbaar opnieuw gedaan in een privéschool. En een jaar gewoon bij een gastgezin geleefd.
Cool.
Heel gezellig.
En, hoe was het?
Echt jaar van mijn leven. Ik zou het zo opnieuw willen doen. Ik ga ook nog om de 5 jaar proberen ik zo terug te gaan. Ik ben nu terug geweest in 2022. En dat is gewoon, dat is thuiskomen echt. Mijn kamer zag er nog exact hetzelfde uit. Zo, er was een blackboard met krijttekeningen die nog van dat jaar waren. Dat wil oftewel zeggen dat ze niet goed opruimen, oftewel het is een sentimentele waarde die echt daar is. Maar ja, recent is mijn gast een onkel overleden, dus dan heb ik nog wel berichten gestuurd. Dus ik heb nog wel contact met
hem. Je staat echt nog wel in contact
ja.
met hem. Cool.
Toch maandelijks.
Alright, en van The Land of the Free naar Le Petit Belge, want dat is de beweging die jullie hebben gemaakt. That's what you guys did. You came from America. I have no idea, maybe Leandro, starting with you.
Sure.
How did you wind up in Belgium?
It's a long story, but basically my daughter's Belgian, so I'm here to stay with her close by.
Okay, that's cool. Raphael, how did you end up here in this country? Because we were talking right before the podcast. You live like right next to me.
Yeah, apparently just a couple of 100 meters.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty close.
Solar City.
Yeah, indeed. I took the long way as well. Me and my wife, we were actually thinking of moving to Turkey, but when we were here, because she's from here, she got an opportunity to work here, and I thought I wasn't going to get anything, but yeah, I was able to find something pretty quick. So yeah.
En Nederlands praten?
Ja, zeker. Wij waren in Washington DC aan het wonen, maar dan mijn vrouw had een opportuniteit eerst in Turkije. En we kwamen hier omdat haar familie woont in Huizen-Zolder. En daarna hebben zij een opportuniteit gekregen voor de regering in Hasselt. Dus we hebben verhuisd naar hier, naar Turkije. Dus dat is
Alright.
interessant.
Wat was jullie eerste indruk, Leandro, Raphael? What was your first impression when you moved from America to Belgium and you...
Well, I thought it was very quaint and pretty. Yeah. There's the architectural differences, and the streets are all cobbles in place of asphalt. So from the outside, it looks very different. I guess that would be the first impression. It smells very different as well. I don't know if you noticed that too.
Yeah. It smells different?
Yeah.
It
smells kind of musty, like in a good way.
Yeah.
Like a nice basement.
A
clean basement.
What's happening, Hendrik? Musty? How is that in America?
Ik heb in Pennsylvania gewoond, en zo de suburbs, en dat was niet...
Geen andere geur?
Nee.
Pennsylvania.
Het was wel redelijk vergelijkbaar met waar ik hier woon, dus dat was niet veel auto's, veel natuur. Dus
grote auto's daar.
Dat wel.
A lot of trucks. Unnecessary.
Okay. I wasn't expecting this answer. The smell is
one of the main things.
Okay.
The light switches are upside down. The toilet's flush differently. Like those little things, you know?
Wait, what? The lights of...
Our switches, you click the top to turn them on, and here you click the bottom to turn them on.
Okay,
generally.
well, yeah.
You can switch those.
You can switch, yeah. You can switch switches, but yeah.
I don't know if the electrician would be happy with that.
Yeah.
Okay, but what is like the most difficult thing you like ran into? Wat was het moeilijkste om jullie aan te passen when you moved from America to Belgium?
For me, the most difficult thing was that things closed super early compared
that
to
is
the
a big
States.
difference, yes.
I was used to, like in LA, everything is open sometimes 24 hours. So yeah, it was kind of crazy having to be done with your day at 6.
Yes.
Yeah, and also I can imagine LA is a gigantische stad. It's a massive city.
Yeah.
Coming to Huizen-Zolder.
Well, first I was in Washington, D.C. So I moved from LA to Washington, D.C. and then from there to here. So, but still, that's Washington, D.C. is not as big, but it's very busy. So there's always something to do indeed.
Leandro, for you, like you agree with the fact that like anything closes super early.
Yeah. It's a big difference from being able to buy, cake making ingredients at 3 a.m. to being relegated to the Nachtwinkel after 6 and paying the Nachtwinkel taxes.
And super duur ook in
the penalty for not planning ahead.
Yeah.
Like any good Belgian would. Being Americans, we don't really plan ahead. So things like that, we don't need to. So I think that's a bit...
Is uw planning veranderd, Hendrik, toen je naar Amerika zit gegaan en teruggekomen?
Ik voelde me meer thuis in Amerika, want ik kwam in België ook niet. En dan zit ik op kot om 8 uur ben ik van shit. Oei. Nu kan ik geen eten meer hebben, dus dan moet ik iets gaan uithalen.
Ja, want wat ik als student heel vaak aan de hand had, als je in België les hebt tot 6, vergeten eten te kopen.
Ja, de Carrefour Express nog tot
goed.
Maar dan betaalt je ook niet de nachtwinkeltaxen, maar
de Carrefour Express.
You still pay the Express.
My money,
Because not everything, we're not all loaded with that these days. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's fairly interesting. But what is like because you've now been living here for a while, right?
6 years.
Yeah, 6 years.
10 years now.
10 years for you.
Maybe.
Would you ever consider moving back?
I would love to.
Yeah?
Definitely. Once my daughter's grown up and at university and stuff, then I would like to see how life goes there as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big step ahead. I mean,
and a lot of changes in between too. So I really don't know what I'll be coming back to, but yeah, still always feels more home there. Different experience from you. I never exactly felt super at home here for whatever reason. So I do look forward to eventually going back.
Ja, want voor u, zou jij ooit naar Hendrik de Staten verhuizen?
Als ik single ben, ja. Momenteel ben ik single. Maar aangezien ik studeer... Ja. Boys.
Oh, boys, sorry.
Ik studeer internationale betrekkingen en diplomatie. Ja. Dus als ik een droom zou zijn om iets van diplomatie tussen Europa en de VS of België en de VS doen. En dan zou het mij niet uitmaken als ik moet verhuizen of zo. Als mijn partner dat zou zitten. Ja. Maar dan zou ik zo New York willen doen. Dat is de droom. The big dream.
I mean, New York, United Nations, NATO, ja.
Ja, het is oftewel een megastad, gelijk New York, oftewel zo de Groot van Hasselt. Ja. Maar niks ertussenin. Geen Antwerpen. Ja. Dat is niet...
And not in the country either.
Nee. No. Ik wil niet dat mijn buren 5 kilometer van mij vandaan zijn.
Dat is zo leuk. In het bos wonen. Alleen,
ja, dat is droom. Ja, Amerikaanse droom. Yeah. Living off the grid, being able to just be in nature.
Ik zou dat niet kunnen.
Actually, I found that here, that's the thing.
Yeah, just explain that to me for a second now, because I've been hearing a lot on the news, like, of course, the elections are coming up, so you hear this people talking about the American dream. What in heaven's name is the American dream?
The American dream for me is that you can go to America with nothing and you can make something of yourself.
Okay.
No matter who you are, what background, there's opportunity. I think that's the dream that we hold on to.
Yeah. Land of the opportunity.
Sometimes ignorantly so, or sometimes more difficult. The reality is not the same, but hey, that dream is still
that's
there.
why we call it a
that
dream,
feeling,
I guess.
Yeah. That feeling that anything can happen when you're in America, that's the big difference in the feeling I get, is that I really think, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to find a way to make it through. And I've been in some situations where I'm like, oh man, I don't know where I'm going to get my food next week. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, not only did I make my food, but I found some opportunities. I made some extra money. I was able to pay my rent. And now, I'm going to invest or I'm going to do something. And it's been crazy.
Ja, ze zeggen wel altijd, Amerika is het land of freedom. Maar dat is het ook wel echt. Je hebt hier is veel meer al geregeld voor u. Veel meer involvement van de staat. En daar is het veel meer doen wat je wilt of wat je kunt.
And people follow the rules here more. They're more willing to follow the rules than in America.
Ja.
Klopt.
In America, I feel like they don't like having rules so that because they feel that they'll have to, they don't want to follow them or something like that. Yeah. And here, if there's a rule, you have to follow it. So it's like, but there's also a little bit like a lot of people don't think of the rules, so they just ignore the rules a little bit. Or what I see a lot of friends that come here say, I never thought that in a land that's as civilized as Belgium, you can still see people peeing on this highway. That's like that was a big
facing toward the road.
Yeah, facing towards just like that. We at least go into the bushes, pretend like that's
you can drink on the sidewalk. That's cool. Different.
Yeah,
can't do that. Well, we're free in many ways. In some ways, not. Americans will never stop crossing the street because the sign turns red. They just keep going. That's
whilst in Belgium, you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, and you're crossing the street and it's a red light.
In New York, you just run.
Yeah,
because
you know that you're risking your life.
Yeah. So, what is the biggest the biggest misunderstanding about Belgians? For
about
you?
Belgians from Americans?
Yeah, from Americans, from any foreigner.
Americans know anything
that we
that
exist.
Exactly. They just think of chocolates and waffles.
Chocolate, beer, waffles.
Okay, but that's known.
Yeah. We know about the food.
Yeah,
that's basically it. We hear about the teeth once a year.
Mm-hmm. And about the
I get that. Yeah,
that comes up.
The political system. Yeah. They do. I've heard a lot of people who's just like, I just heard that it was hell, so I don't even get interested in it. So
to quote one that once said that Brussels was a city.
Yes, but Brussels is a city.
That Brussels is a country and Belgium was a city. That was it. Yeah. That was a quote of him.
Yes, indeed.
Driving straight into it, om er helemaal in te duiken. Hendrik, jij wil graag ooit diplomaat worden tussen de Verenigde Staten en België. Zal dat onder een Harris administration zijn of onder a Trump administration?
Moeilijk. Ik ben op uitzending geweest net toen Trump verkozen is geworden. En dat was duidelijk wel een hot topic daar. Denk ik dat hij het opnieuw kan doen. Ik weet het niet. Allee, de polls zeggen dat Harris gaat winnen, maar de polls kunnen ook fout zijn. Ik weet gewoon ook niet wat er zou gebeuren als Harris wint.
Maar volg je het?
Half. Nu steeds meer en meer, want het moet voor mijn vakken. Maar,
Student internationale betrekkingen.
ik zie heel veel meer van Kamala Harris op mijn TikTok en zo verschijnen dan dat ik van Trump zie. Maar Trump is meer met mijn Twitter dat ik nog...
Ja, dat is uiteraard hetgene waarom we ook een beetje deze aflevering maken. What's coming up in the next week is that the Americans... Well, I say the Americans, but there is no legislation that the people don't have to vote. They need to register first of all. So that's a big difference from Belgium.
Yes, also.
Mensen moeten zich registreren om te gaan stemmen. Maar de hele wereld kan er niet naast kijken. De Amerikaanse presidentsverkiezingen komen eraan. The elections, the American presidential elections are coming ahead. How are you guys following that from?
I don't personally really follow it.
Okay.
I get a lot of stuff on my Twitter feed or X. And
you guys still use Twitter?
Yeah.
Well, X, sorry. Yeah.
I don't.
I follow it a little bit, not crazy, but yeah, I get a lot of things. And I also follow the news and try to just keep in touch with the family there. So some people are worried, and it's like sometimes understandably so, sometimes not. So yeah, just have to calm them down and talk a little bit.
Is it a sensitive topic?
It certainly
In
can
America,
be.
it can be very charged.
Depends on which uncle's at dinner.
Yes,
Definitely can
and how much Genever he's had.
Is Genever a thing in Belgium?
Oh, no, we do not have Geneva.
No,
Straight into whiskey or...
We have gin would be the closest thing, but it's really totally different.
So depending on which uncle you're talking to.
A lot of people confuse that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Het is echt wel een geladen topic, want heel veel van mijn gastgezinleden zijn van Facebook zelfs gegaan. Omdat ze gewoon... Ze posten dan politieke dingen. En dan...
Free podcast hier.
Ja. Oké. Maar Amerikanen misschien.
Ja, oké.
Yeah, we're Puritans, so...
Echt, daar praat ik straks nog wel over. Maar echt dat die van Facebook zijn gegaan, omdat die gewoon de hele tijd ruzie aan het maken waren met elkaar. En gewoon geen zin hadden daarin.
Dat is gewoon te veel.
Ja, het was gewoon te veel. En dan... Zij hebben hun mening, want het zijn allemaal Trump-supporters voornamelijk aan die kant. En dan zijn er een paar die de andere mening hebben in die familie. En dan clasht dat. En dan is dat... Ze willen de vrede bewaren.
But that's the thing with it in America is it's so polarized. It's really one side against the other. And I feel like it's part of the plan, maybe. I don't know. But if people could just realize we're all people and discuss it more, you know... As you would anything else, I think there'd be the possibility for progress would be a lot better.
Funny enough, Washington actually said that having a two-party political system is going to ruin the country, and actually that's really making it really difficult indeed.
You can see it happening.
But they saw it 200 years ago, so.
Because is that something with it? I have no idea actually, because I'm used to, of course, like Belgian political systems, but like you find people talking about it often, like, hey, you vote for this party, you vote for this party. Got a sense that Americans don't like to
to talk about it.
Yeah, have that
Some
as a
love
random dinner.
The people that want to talk about it are very loud, I should say. Yeah,
okay.
That's the thing.
And for me, it's more of like, okay, I'm willing to talk about it, but I'm not going out there advertising it. It can also be, you limit your opportunities. And like you said, America is all about freedom. So we want to be free to be able to
not talk
chase
about
anything.
Be free to talk about it or not talk about it.
Exactly. So I totally understand that part. But
What is the one thing I should never ask?
In America.
Or to an American.
In America.
Just straight out saying, so what party are you voting for? Just going out straight, you have to
That's another thing in America too, is it's a right to not tell anyone who you're voting for. You're not supposed to ask.
Yeah, okay.
Basically. After you've gone to vote, you just let it.
Yeah, it's pretty...
But, I mean, it's something that we also do in Belgium. It's like a little thing that nobody tells one another.
Yeah. So
they always like stem for the goeie, vote for the right ones, but nobody knows which is the right one.
Everyone the right one is someone else.
Something else.
On like Tinder, swipe on for your political orientation.
That's how we should structure politics. It's like Tinder. You swipe right for...
Well, that would be horrible. Yeah. But it is mainly, or what I understand from American culture is that it's basically who you're voting for, which political party your family belongs to or part of the family belongs to. It's kind of part of their identity as well.
It can be. And without being too crass, I would say that's if you lack another one, if you're lacking an identity, maybe you find it through politics.
Ja.
And you use that as something, it's something you hold on to very dearly and it feels like an identity, but it might not really be.
Dus als je een identiteit mist, zegt Leandro, dan kan politiek in Amerika wel helpen.
Ja, dat was vroeger ook in België, toch? Ik ben socialist, ik ben kapitalist. Dat was heel vroeger. Ja, ik zit bij de CM, dat is de christelijke minderheidsmutualiteit.
Ja, klopt.
Daar speelt religie ook een grote rol. Dat was altijd een van de eerste vragen die ik kreeg gesteld. Wat is uw naam? Van waar zijt je? En zijt je gelovig? En dan ben ik zo, ik ben een non-practicing Catholic. Maar
Yeah, because it's difficult to explain that.
That would be an odd thing to ask an American as
Yeah.
well. What religion are you?
What religion are you?
You don't
Would not.
ask that.
Okay.
they definitely didn't stop them.
No, that was there.
Yeah, that was there. That was there. That was because they were for Trump and very Catholic, which is not that very common in the United States.
Yeah.
But in the area,
Especially north of the Mason-Dixie line. That's right.
yeah, that they were Catholic because they were Catholic. They're not like Baptists or
Protestant.
they're not Protestants. Yeah. So I scored some points by saying that I was Catholic, but like that's the only reason I said it.
Right.
I am Catholic to a certain degree, but
Sure.
more like in a Belgian way than an American way.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
which
yeah.
is very
That's
different
also
here.
Yeah.
My daughter goes to Catholic school, but
Indeed.
12 years
it's
of
really
Catholic
not
school.
super
The Catholic
religious.
University of
They're
Leuven.
not praying.
Yeah.
I went to mass once in the United States.
Oh, yeah?
I wasn't forced by
That's
them.
one more time than I have.
But it was very similar to the one
Yeah?
in Belgium.
I was curious about that.
Just a lot more people. That was the thing.
In America?
Yeah, in the United
Oh,
States.
okay.
Because like, the churches were full there.
Yeah.
But here in Belgium.
Most certainly not here.
No, if I go get baptized or have my confirmation or stuff like that, then the church is full. But if you go for any other event, I felt
Because then
like-
they invite 20 people to do their whole family. And,
Exactly.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
But there it was always full, I feel like. Because people would, like, my family would go to church every Sunday.
So your host family was,
But they wouldn't. They
Was that
wouldn't
a small city?
you didn't have to go.
It was Harrisburg, which is like 50,000 people.
Okay.
That's small.
50.
Small.
50,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's
50,000 mensen.
Yeah.
Small city.
Yeah, for America, consider that.
Ja.
Small city.
Yeah, just curious about it.
Ik bedoel, het is kleiner dan Hasselt.
Yeah, okay, true.
En als ik tegen iemand zeg, van, als iemand vraagt van waar ben je en ik zeg Hasselt, niemand buiten België weet waar je is. Dus
True.
kleine stad, ja.
How do you guys experience from living, because you all live in Belgium, like right now, jullie leven allemaal in België. How do you experience the commotion that exists, even in Belgian television and Belgian talk shows and Belgian media and European media, commotion that exists around the whole presidential election? Like everyone's like giving me an idea of, we again have to quote Bart de Wever, een afspraak met de geschiedenis. We have an appointment with history to make on November 5th. Is that true? Like, is that...
I don't know how much of a difference it makes who gets elected as far as the powers that be and who's really in control. You know, I'm not really too concerned with who's running things on the front as much as what's really going to be happening. I don't think that much changes depending on the president, aside from the worldview of the country.
Yeah.
Certainly something to take into consideration, but at the end of the day, they never make huge changes while in office.
I think that definitely the changes aren't being felt by the regular Belgian person. I think
Right.
a lot of the changes happen on like a European or national level. Because when Trump was in power, they did have a lot of changes put in place with like the defense budget and international relations.
That's
they
true.
changed
Yeah,
a
it
lot.
did change.
A lot of people did not have, because they had a very limited number of people that were working for the government as well, indeed. So,
Right.
yeah. And here in
That's
Belgium, you can be 2 years without a government and still everything is fine. So,
Yeah.
That confused me.
Yeah.
We don't have a government, like, but it looks like you do.
yeah.
Yeah, we have one that's running.
You
already.
get the backup like generator.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Well, we have
Yeah.
ministers saying like, "Oh, I've done everything that I need to be doing. I'm going to go back to my city as a mayor."
Right.
yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, well, yeah.
I think local politics, both here and in the United States, are much more impactful. But yeah, indeed, something comes up from the top, or who the actual people are actually following. But indeed, like you said, it doesn't really matter who's up top
Yeah.
so much as are they following? Are they doing everything that needs to be done locally? And I feel that is also done here. So that's why I think it's also very important to vote locally.
To end that topic a little bit, no matter who's gonna be in office on January 20th. What's the biggest challenge for America at this point? Wat is de grootste uitdaging volgens jullie voor Amerika? Especially maybe for young people.
Yeah.
Keeping hope, I guess. I get the feeling that sometimes it's people feel like they don't have the hope. They find it somewhere within their friends, their family. They're closer, the people that they have near them more. Whereas before it used to be like, oh, America felt bigger than us. And now we're finding more of... I
feel like you're more on your own.
Yeah, a little bit more of your own and you having to just find your own way. And it's not necessarily better or worse. It's just different and having to just do things differently and getting out of that comfort zone.
I was going to say a lack of direction in life, like not knowing what to do or what the future holds. I feel like is a conflict that a lot of young people have there. And I think that may be more of a generational issue than a, country related issue, but many young people that I know there resonate with that feeling.
I agree with that. I don't have anything to add. I was thinking
perfect.
Housing. I was thinking more materialistic things.
Sure, but also
ideological things.
Housing is not necessarily
getting-
material. I mean, where you're going to be able to find a place, being able to be close, being able to be independent, being able to feel safe. That's also quite important. So
It is a big challenge.
yeah.
And here, I mean, huurkosten.
Because I was about to ask the opposite question, like, what do you think is the biggest challenge for Belgium, or at least local Limburg?
Yeah. In Limburg? No, I don't know. It's a specific problem for Limburg.
Niet uitgelachen worden met mijn accent.
That's the biggest problem.
Nee.
No.
For Belgium, I feel like people are also like they're more used to that type of feeling where they go, oh, I don't know what's going to happen because they have a much more complicated system of governance and they have more parties and things like that. That people are just kind of used to not knowing exactly where they're going to do, but they know that okay, we're Belgium. Some people will say, oh, Belgium's going to break up, and there's always like every few years that they make the only thing we have is the crown, but then Belgium starts playing in the World Cup or something. It's like, oh yeah, we're Belgium again.
And it's all fine.
Yeah,
And then they find out about chocolate again.
they remember the beer.
Ik denk gewoon voor zowel Amerika als België common ground vinden met andere mensen. Dat een moeilijk iets is, maar dat wel een stap kan zijn om uw partijen te overstijgen of politiek te overstijgen.
Okay, interesting. Finding common ground, een beetje een gemeenschappelijke waarde terugvinden. I always end up these podcasts with asking you guys, ik eindig altijd met dezelfde vraag. What is one thing that lately could be, like yesterday, could be today, could be anything you want to say that you're thankful for? Wat is hetgene waar jullie op dit moment heel dankbaar voor zijn?
Country specific or just in
Doesn't matter, in general. Could be something related to this podcast episode.
things? It's difficult to give one.
Mijn ouders. Nee, echt. Ze steunen mij in alles wat ik doe. En zeker nu ik een tweede master aan het beginnen ben, dat is niet zo evident dat ze gewoon... Ik heb het geluk dat heel veel voor mij betaald wordt. En dat is niet zo evident dat dat gebeurt. En dat ze mij steunen, ook al wist ik niet zo goed altijd waar ik naartoe wilde gaan.
Dat is heel lief.
Ja, en dat is belangrijk. Als je je gesteund voelt door je ouders, dan denk ik dat ik heel veel stress minder heb dan andere mensen misschien in hun leven.
Yeah.
Shout out to mom and dad.
Ja, letterlijk. Edel en Gert, love you.
I'm grateful for my health and for my daughter there and my girlfriend. And just for, it sounds silly, a cool breeze on a warm day. Stuff like that.
Doesn't sound silly at all to me.
Voor mij, mijn kinderen, Selma, Selene, mijn vrouw. Het is heel belangrijk dat ik mijn zoon dit heeft. En ja, inderdaad, tussen de coronatijd, dat was echt moeilijk. Ik heb heel veel familie verloren, dus dat was voor mij een moeilijke tijd. En dat ik kan denken over de beste van mijn familie en niet, hoe kan ik betalen voor de ziekenhuis of iets. Dat is veel minder stress. Dus ja, ik heb werk, ik heb gezondheid, ik heb mijn familie, dat is het belangrijkste.
Zeker.
To end this thing on a little cheesy note, om een beetje ook in dankbaarheid te eindigen, heb ik nog iets kleins voor jullie.
Oh.
You know that Hasselt is also the city of taste, like the stad van de smaak, and that speculaas is something particular related to Hasselt. So we've made some homemade student night picolas for you guys.
Did you help make it?
Well, I actually baked it.
You baked it
yesterday.
Nice.
Yes, so
Fantastic.
fresh made,
Thank you
homemade.
very much.
Dankjewel.
En met deze wil ik jullie heel graag bedanken. I want to thank you so much for being in this episode.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
I hope dat het leuk was voor jullie. I hope it's
Yes,
been nice for you. All right. And we'll drink some Genever, I think, after this one.
Sounds good to
En
me.
voor you guys, voor iedereen thuis, wil ik ook opnieuw even jullie super erg bedanken. Ik hoop dat het een beetje verstaanbaar was, want we hebben een beetje geswitcht met taal. Dus laat vooral even weten wat jullie daarvan vonden. Moeten we dit meer doen? Moeten we dit niet doen? En voor de rest zie ik jullie heel graag volgende week terug in een nieuwe Student Night. Salut, tjus en tot de volgende.